Ask you to stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance At this time, there are two members excused for this evening, and I will move to ask for a motion to approve the agenda for this evening.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? We also need approval of the minutes from the Board of Ed meeting on April 4th, special meeting and executive session on April 11th, and the special meeting held on April 19th.
So moved.
Second? Second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We'll turn it over to Dr. Hicks.
Thank you, Mrs. Klaas. This is a great night because our kids have done tremendously high accomplished things, and we're going to recognize them tonight. But before we get into recognizing our students, we want to once again thank the Clarence Schools Enrichment Foundation, and Jenna and Joe DiPasquale are here. And I know, Jenna, you have some awards to set forward, so please.
Good evening. My name is Jenna DiPasquale, and I'm the grant coordinator for the Clarence Schools Enrichment Foundation. On behalf of CSEF, I'd like to present to the Board of Education the winners of our Spring 2016 biannual mini grant program. This spring, we received 21 grant applications requesting a total of $29,737.52. I'm proud to announce that the CSEF board has approved the funding of 10 grants impacting 17 of the 21 grant applications we received, totaling $18,993.72. The Grant Selection Committee looked for grants that would enhance the educational experiences of students in the Clarence Central School District by offering ancillary enrichment in the arts, sciences, math, technology, applied career skills, and athletics. They took into consideration the number of students impacted, need of the project, and alignment with the goals of the school district and individual buildings within the district. I'd like to take this time to recognize the members of the selection committee who all reside within the district. On our committee this year was John Casey. He's a Clarence alumni. He works for Graphic Controls. He's the director of sales and marketing and co-chair of our annual CSEF golf tournament coming up in June. Lisa Kruger, who is a parent with a kindergartner at Harris Hill, and Dawn Snyder, to the right of me here, who is the CSEF president. I'd like to ask Dawn Snyder, CSEF president, board president Mary Ellen Kloss, and superintendent of schools Dr. Hicks to please come forward and help us present our certificates to the grant recipients. I don't think she's in attendance, but the first grant goes to Leslie Heim, Jeannie Rook, and Lynn Ellable for a poetry workshop at the middle school. Mary Jo Brunetto, information text at Ledgeview. Lou Vitello, Buffalo Philharmonic Orchestra performance for the district for 4th, 5th, and 6th grade classes. Cassie Lamarca, Community and Vocational Exploration at the high school. I don't think she's here tonight. Mary Sorrells and Stephanie Samalski, interactive performance of Shakespeare's Greatest Scenes for the high school. Susan Balthasar, Enriched Literature at Ledgeview. We have awarded 8 teachers applied in our science department, so the foundation awarded $4,000 to $5,000 worth of probeware for science. Is anyone here from science to accept? Douglas Radka, basketball shoot-away machine for the high school and middle school. You guys can come up too, players. Thank you. Aaron Booker, basketball shoot-away machine in the high school and middle school. Mark Layer, accepting his award is Kara Gallagher, and all the elementary PE teachers. The grant is for over $5,000 worth of gymnastics mats that will affect all elementary children. Since the beginning of our grant program in the fall of 2014, CSEF has awarded 15 grants totaling $51,264.72. We have also purchased boys' modified basketball uniforms, cheerleading pom-poms for both the JV and varsity school teams, girls' modified lacrosse uniforms, a Healthy Bodies program through the Buffalo Museum of Science, and if you've also checked out the new middle school science, or the middle school announcement, so we just funded a science museum trip that was in there too. It's really cool. They dissect eyeballs. I thought it was neat. We have also awarded scholarships to 8 graduating seniors from the classes of 2014 and 15. All of these programs have been made possible by generous donations from the members of our community and through the support of our 2 major fundraising events during the year. Our 3rd annual charity golf tournament, co-chaired by Sam Haliba and John Casey, both of Graphic Controls, will be held on Monday, June 20th at the links at Ivy Ridge. Please check out our website at www.clarenceschoolfund.org to register for golf or support this amazing day as a sponsor. All the money goes back to the schools and has impacted the kids, so that's really where every penny goes. On behalf of the foundation, I'd like to publicly applaud these individuals for developing enrichment activities for the students of Clarence. CSEF is thrilled to support these opportunities and celebrate the efforts of these district employees and students in their dedication and commitment to their students.
Okay, once again, I'd like to thank Dawn, Jenna, and Joe, and all the other volunteers in the Clarence Schools Enrichment Foundation for all of their great work to help our kids. We have 3 groups of students to recognize tonight. In the first group, our students who have collectively and individually been nominated for Kenny Awards for our absolutely fabulous musical this year, Young Frankenstein. So before I turn it over to the director, Lou Vitello, for the individual student nominations, I want to recognize the group nominations for the Kenny Awards. The kids have been nominated for Outstanding Scenic Design, that's our entire stage crew, Outstanding Costume Design, Outstanding Technical Design, Outstanding Dance Performance, Outstanding Choral Performance, Outstanding Dramatic Performance, and of course, Outstanding Musical for the entire region of Western New York. So Lou, on behalf of those great ones and the ones you're about to give, congratulations to you and the students.
Thank you very much. On Saturday is the actual ceremony. We will find out if our nominees actually won the award in all those categories that Dr. just mentioned, as well as these individuals. First, portraying the Hermit, the Blossom Cohen Award goes to Nicholas Harwas. I see his mother and brother are here. Members of the Villagers Quintet were nominated for Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble. We have Justin McMullen, Matt Keogh, again Nicholas Harwas, Jack Grant, and Christopher Ellis. Nominated for Outstanding Actress in a Supporting Role, Marissa Napo portraying Elizabeth Benning. Nominated for Outstanding Actor in a Supporting Role, Rafi Wright portraying Igor. And finally, nominated for Outstanding Actress in a Lead Role, Rachel Cowderer portraying Frau Blucher.
How about another big hand for our cast and crew and Mr. Patella? Young Frankenstein was absolutely amazing. We can't wait for next year. Okay, our last group of students, another amazing accomplishment, our mock trial team. And I'm going to turn it over to our advisor, Ron D. Nicolantonio, to recognize the students.
Thank you, Dr. Hicks. I'd like to introduce my colleagues here. Mr. Shippengrover, if you can come on down, please. Mr. Justin Kloss, Attorney Advisor, and Ms. Colleen Natry, Attorney Advisor. I'll now turn it over to Mr. Shippengrover, who started this wonderful program at Clarence High School.
Thank you very much, Ron. I'm going to go behind the desk for this one so I can use my notes. I coached the team at the very beginning in 1981 when the program started, the mock trial program. And it's been highly successful ever since under Ron. And some of the people that are attorneys now helped my wife on a couple of speeding tickets, so it worked out very well. They started the mock trial team in 1981. That's when they started statewide. They have over 350 high schools currently in the state on this program, which is terrific. I was with the team for 14 years, and then Ron took over in 1995 when I retired from the classroom here. Today marks the 60th year that I worked with someone in this high school, from 1956 to the current time. So it's been a long time. Believe me, I enjoyed every minute of it. The goals for the mock trial team, as we established years ago, are still the same. Understanding the law and court procedures is one. The second one is the one that I think everyone pays close attention to. Increased proficiency in speaking, writing, reasoning, and listening. And that team was fabulous at that. And if you don't do that, you don't win. You have to think things out and listen very carefully to everything that goes on. I don't know how many hours they spent preparing for this trial, but certainly it's an awful lot of hours, and it pays off when you are as good as they are. Okay, I'd like to, well, we already introduced the two attorneys to the team, so they worked with us for a long time. Colleen worked with us for more than 11 years now. 12 years, excuse me. I missed a year. I don't know what the hell. And she's with the law firm of Lips, Mathis, Wexler, and Friedman. Is that correct? And next to her, you know who that is, I think? Mr. Kloss is with Kloss, Zenger, and Latempo. He was also a student on this law team a number of years ago and works every week with the team now. And it takes a great combination of attorneys to give all the information that these kids have to learn. Congratulations to both of you. And you met Ron, so you're all set on him. He is the person who took over when I retired in 1995. He started with the law team from that date on. And I told him at that time, you know, if you win, you'd be here every night. and that's what it ends up doing, because they prepare very, very well. I'm going to ask a question for the team now. They're right here in the front row, most of them. How many members of this team have never lost while they were in a trial? Raise your hand. If you never lost a trial that you were involved in or sitting in. Georgia, you didn't lose one, did you? No, she didn't. Anyway, none of them have, because they're on a string of 47 consecutive victories. And that takes everyone that's here and back for the past 3 or 4 years have not had a defeat. This week we'll give them a real test in Albany. I wanted to ask one question for a couple of the people on the team. They were in Albany last year for the state championships, but they did not appear in court, and they will this year. Ryan, how do you feel about that?
It's good, I guess. I don't know. I just know I was going to answer the question.
You didn't? Where's Alex? Oh, Alex. You were also observing last year and on the team and observing. How do you feel about going back now and performing? Well, I'm going to turn the program over to Ron now, and good luck to the team. Have a great weekend.
I know there's a long agenda, so I just want to fill in a couple gaps for Mr. Shippengrover. I've been coaching for 12 years. This guy over here was one of my first years, and now I'm proud to call him a colleague in law, and been my co-coach for 5 years, and all 5 years we've won. Yeah. The stats are we have been in the Erie County Finals 9 of my 12 years. We've won 8, and we are just a dynamic team, but we would be nothing without certainly the support of Mr. Shippengrover and a wonderful, wonderful teacher who is dedicated to his students and to learning. So I just wanted to say thank you to Ron.
And Colleen deserves a round of applause as well. One of the most important things, and I'll keep this short, is that we've always received tremendous support from the administration, the school board, but most importantly, the parents who drive the kids to practice and pick them up and entertain the coaches at 9:30 at night when they're picking their child up and they just want to get to bed. So we really could not have had the success that we've had. The program could not have had the success it has had without the continued support from the school and the parents. I mean, the students do a phenomenal job, but without everyone involved, I mean, you wouldn't have a successful program. So thank you for continuing to give us the tools and resources that we need to be successful, and we will continue to do our best to coach your kids, and their results, I think, speak highly of the product that the Clarence school system puts out. So thank you.
Thank you. We're now going to call the students down to recognize their outstanding achievements this year. First student is Ryan Mazurkowitz. Just hang on. Alexander McElhaney. Rebecca Knapp. Adam Clavoon. Georgia Halbert. Christian Galuza. Anna Geiger. J.P. Galligan. Megan Brodsick. Derek Andrews. Ethan Alexon. Sammy Zyla. Emily Purcell. Mary Owen. I want to thank you, team, for making the Clarence School District very proud. Thank you. Let's give them a hand.
Sorry for the interruption. I need to get back to work. Thanks.
Okay, congratulations again to our mock trial team. It's nothing short of amazing what they have accomplished. One more set of student recognition today. We're lucky enough to have Dan Leone as the president and John Brennan as the vice president of our Destination Imagination students who compete, and they've done another terrific job this year. So Dan, I'm going to ask you to come on down and recognize your kids. Thank you.
I'm going to stand down here because I'm short, and if I stand back there, nobody will see me. All right, for those of you who don't know what Destination Imagination is, it's a global education organization. It's totally nonprofit, and it teaches kids real life skills such as problem solving, time management, project management, and a variety of other things through what they call their challenge program. So what happens is every year DI publishes 6 different challenges. One is technical, one is scientific, there are fine arts, structural, guys help me out, what am I missing? Improv and project outreach, right? Did I miss anything? Students form teams, they pick a challenge, and then they spend several months trying to solve that challenge. They then take those challenges and those solutions to a competition where they compete against other students in their age group and doing the same challenge. We have a regional tournament that's here in Western New York. Top teams in each challenge move on to a state tournament in Binghamton, and then those that are successful in Binghamton move on to a global tournament in Knoxville, Tennessee, which features about 1,500 different teams from 40 plus states and 20 different countries. It's an amazing, amazing experience. We've had a really great year this year. We sent 5 teams to states, competing in 6 different challenges, and 3 of those teams competing in 4 challenges are moving on to Knoxville, Tennessee at the end of this month, and those are the folks that we're going to honor here today. Our first team is the Clarence Middle School team. They're called the Bright Bunch, and aptly so. They took on our scientific challenge this year, which means they had to research the way camouflage works in nature and different animals and how they camouflage to protect themselves. They had a story with a plot twist that included the use of camouflage, And then during their presentation, they actually had to use camouflage to hide one of their kids. So their skit was very creative. It was a takeoff on the Bachelorette TV show. It featured a stick bug as the title character who ended up blending in with a 9-foot tree that they built out of pool noodles. It was a very entertaining, very creative performance, and it won them first place in both the regional and state tournaments. Those team members are Kristen Kirksiak, Sophie Lottie, Ashlyn Miner, Anna Showalter, and Micah Showalter, and I do not believe that they are here tonight. We'll give them a hand, though. I imagine we can find someone to take those home. Okay. Our second team that I'd like to talk about tonight is a high school team, and they go under the name of Copyright Trademark. They took on a highly competitive challenge, which is a fine arts challenge called Get a Clue, and what they had to do is they had to create a mystery story set on Earth in a team-chosen time period before 1999. They had to, live on stage, discover who was one of the potential suspects and who did the deed, and they had to do that using a Techniclue, which will help them solve the mystery. They also had to do this in what's called transverse staging. So what you have to do is, normally you would expect them to come up here and put on a play, but what they did was they had an aisle down the middle and audience members on either side, so that threw a twist into your props and all that other sort of stuff. So their story took place New Year's Eve, 1989. They pushed the envelope there a little bit. The story was 3 construction workers trying to figure out, with the help of their hairy godmother, who stole the ball that would be dropped at midnight. They created a Techniclue that was a Rube Goldberg device that actually, at the end, dropped something down in a piece of tape and picked the clue up off the ground. They took second place medals in both the regional and state tournaments and are moving on to globals at the end of the month. The team members are Lillian Brennan, Megan Brennan, Dalton Leone, and Kate Casada. Nice job, guys. Just us. Here, take one. We'll sort out the names later. Nice job, guys. Also, I should note with this team, every year at the state tournament, DI awards the Turner Memorial Scholarship to one student who inspires others to participate and who contributes their action to New York Destination Imagine by giving themselves with joy and grace for the betterment of the program. For the 3rd year in a row, that scholarship was awarded to a senior from Clarence High School. This year it went to Lily Brennan. All right, our third and final team tonight took on 2 different challenges. Let me find their paperwork because I got to talk about. There's a lot to talk about here. The first challenge they took on was the Project Outreach Challenge, where this team has to find out a community need. They have to use creative methods to address that community need. They have to carry out a community event, and they have to create a live presentation that is really a highlight of their project plan. What went well, what didn't go so well. This team decided to raise money for the Institute for Autism Research, a subject that's close to their heart. The team ended up singing backup on a song called Not So Different that was recorded by Cassandra Kabinski, Mary Ramsey of the 10,000 Maniacs, and Johnny Resnick of the Goo Goo Dolls. During that recording session, they got a guitar autographed by the singers. At various events supporting the single, they sold raffle tickets to that guitar, CDs, and the event culminated on April 16th with a benefit concert at UB where the team actually got up on stage with Mary Ramsey and Johnny Resnick and Cassandra and sang the song live. Over the course of this project, they sold CDs, the raffle tickets, and the concert raised $30,000 for the Institute. So that's an amazing performance. So quick round of applause. But before I called them down, they also took on a second challenge, which in like DI world is akin to insanity. But they did it, and they took on the improv challenge called Close Encounters, and they had to research confined spaces. They had to put on a 4-minute improvisational play on one of those confined spaces. There was about a dozen of them that you could choose from. They did not know which one. And when they walked into the room, they were also going to be fed a mystery character who would be a football player. It might be an astronaut. You don't know what you're going to walk into, and they had to integrate that into the presentation. They also had to build a prop out of newspaper on the spot, I believe, and so it was a great performance. They did a great job But I think the highlight of that particular performance was they won a very prestigious award. It's called the Spirit of DI Award, which is given for outstanding teamwork, spirit, volunteerism, and sportsmanship. I'm told the last one that was given out was 4 years ago at the state competition. I'd like to read to you the notes from the appraisers about this team, if I can get through it. This team is the true definition of what it means to be a team. The members interact in a way that shows how much they care for each other, work to each other's strengths, and empower every single member. This team is a model of I knew I was going to mess this up, inclusivity and teamwork, and excels at bringing the spirit of DI to a different level. You have inspired the appraisal team, and we have not seen anything like it, and it made us proud to be part of Destination Imagination. So this team, amazing job. So this team will be presenting their solutions, both solutions actually, at Global Finals also at the end of this month. And I'd like to introduce this team is Jacob Liskowski, Julius Merlino, Armin Petrie, Gail Petrie, and Sophia Simo. Come on down, guys. Way to go, AJ. Nice job, bud. Julius? Destination Imagination, folks. On behalf of these fine young men and women, I would also like to thank the board, the district, Mr. Mancuso, Ms. Overholt, so much for your support over the years, and we really, really appreciate it, and you can see the amazing things that it does. So thank you all very much.
If I can just take 2 minutes on Destination Imagination. I sat in a meeting here in this room a couple weeks ago on, it was a strategic planning session for the district. And we talked about the Partnership for 21st Century Learning in that meeting. And as I sat in that meeting, I thought, this is describing Destination Imagination. And when I went to the vision and mission on the Destination Imagination website, I'll just pass these down to my colleagues on the board. The vision of Destination Imagination is to teach students the creative process and empower them with the skills needed to succeed in an ever-changing world. And it has a mission statement, but they also have affiliations with NASA, 3M, Disney, Motorola, but they also have an affiliation with the Partnership for 21st Century Learning. So I thought that was interesting as as the district is looking to implement those principles, the Destination Imagination program is actually affiliated with them and teaches the skills that are necessary for our students to excel in the 21st century. It was my second year as a team manager, and this is what I personally want my children to learn. This is what I want them to have, the skills necessary for the 21st century. And I just thought it was interesting that as I sat there, I just thought of Destination Imagination and was not surprised to find that partnership. So I appreciate Dan and all of his efforts.
Thank you. And I think Mr. Lottie is right on. We need to actually make school more like Destination Imagination, because the creativity and the critical thinking of these kids is just absolutely amazing. We wish you the best of luck, Dan.
Thank you.
And I think it's worth noting that both Dan and John Brennan do all of this voluntarily for free on behalf of the kids, and we really thank you for stepping up. It's great.
Superintendent, we have also just quite a few parent volunteers that are team managers who give up their homes and their time, and so the whole organization comes with that kind of a large group of hardworking people.
Well, we really appreciate it. We're going to pause slightly here, and anyone who needs to get on with the rest of their night, we will have you exit, and then we'll get into the rest of our board meeting. Okay, Mrs. Kloss, that concludes the superintendent's report and puts us to the budget hearing presentation.
Okay. I will turn it over to Mr. Mancuso.
Hi, everybody. We have a brief budget hearing, a review of the budget that's going to be proposed to vote. The budget, first of all, is an ongoing process. Administration is really looking at the budget literally every single day. Board of Education oversees that monitoring and sets goals and directives for the administration. This year, there were 5 separate public input sessions prior to the Board of Education adopting the proposed budget on April 11th. The 2 goals that the board set this year, very similar to the last few years: protect the core programs of the district and be fiscally responsible by preparing a budget that stays within the tax cap. This is a snapshot of the expense budget side. New York State requires 3 categories: instruction, capital, and administration. Basically, the instruction area this year is adding 2 teachers and a few teacher aides for special education needs. The capital section of the budget has got the first phase-in of our capital project approved by the voters, and it has an additional custodian. The administration costs are pretty flat. There's really nothing added to the budget for this coming year. The revenue side of the budget, the counter to the expense side. This year we were very fortunate. New York State eliminated the gap elimination adjustment, and our state aid went up by approximately $2 million. One of the things that the district wanted to do is to make sure that our budget is sustainable. And being proactive to do that, we reduced the amount of fund balance we're allocating for the budget for the coming year. This hopefully will give us a little cushion in future years should tax cap or state aid not come in at estimated levels. Property taxes. The proposed tax levy has an increase of 2.76%, which is below the cap of 3.11. The proposition for the budget requires a simple majority approval. The tax rate estimate is about 1.75%. There's at least 1% growth in the district, and this equates to about $50 a year for a $200,000 home. That should be rebated to the vast majority of taxpayers. New York State Property Tax Relief Credit Program will have a rebate, and as long as we stay under the tax cap, which we will, and you meet those other criteria, the amount that your increased tax bill was up will be rebated to you. Just to wrap up the budget real quick, how are we doing finance-wise? Well, cost effectiveness, we're number 1 out of the 96 Western New York districts, number 2 out of the 430 out of approximately 730 in the entire state. We're number 6 and number 8 in those 2 groups in administrative efficiency. And we are the 2nd and 5th lowest spending per pupil in those cohorts. We do have another proposition, a bus purchase, $825,000 to buy 9 vehicles. Our fleet currently is 95 buses. The large buses usually last between 9 and 13 years, and we've actually gone above 170,000 miles. New York State does reimburse all the bus purchases about 2 out of every $3. Again, this proposition also requires only a simple majority passage. Why does our plan make sense? Well, we think annual replacement of buses makes sense. It keeps parts and repair costs flat. It ensures safety and reliability, and it keeps budget increases flat and predictable, especially in the tax cap era. An ongoing bus proposition is only a $4 per year estimated cost for a $200,000 home. We do have 2 Board of Education seats up for election, Mr. Lottie and Mr. Showalter's seats. Each has got a 3-year term. There are only 2 candidates, Mr. Boglioli and Mr. Fiscus. The vote is Tuesday, a week from tomorrow, May 17th, at the high school gym. We open at 7 a.m. and we'll start the count at 9 p.m. That's it.
Any board members have any follow-up questions or comments about his presentation? Okay. Okay, then we will move to the public comment session. There are 2 microphones. Ask that you give your name and address. And should there be someone behind you, you yield to the next person after you ask your question, and you're welcome to come back and ask a follow-up question. At this time, does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mancuso. With enough time for you to sit down before you start the regular part of the finance part of the presentation this evening.
There's not too much in the financial reports. I did want to include the bid calendar. You know, each year we do most of our bidding through cooperative purchasing, whether it's BOCES, one of the many BOCES, or New York State, or any of the other bids that we're now allowed to piggyback on. But we do still bid a handful of things locally. And so I give you the bid calendar, and at the June board meeting, we'll certainly have some bids for you to consider.
Quick question, Rick. Food service, where do we stand? They have to opt in for a renewal, is that correct?
Yes, and they have for this coming year. So
Okay.
there's something called the May Index that will come out early in June. And that's, this year it's going to be very, very small, but it's the amount that you're allowed to increase that program. So that bid will go up slightly. We certainly, Sodexo has done a very good job, and we certainly will want to renew that. Usually at the August board meeting, I will present you a packet which will officially renew the program and allow us to join the free and reduced lunch program.
Thank you.
The other item we have is to accept the petitions for James Boglioli and is it James? I think it's John Fiskus, right? John Fiskus, not James, for candidacy for the Board of Education. And also, we'd like to appoint Marla Weiss as the chairperson of our vote.
Okay, does anyone have any questions on the financial reports, schedule of bills? Okay, then I need a motion to approve F1 through F3.
So moved.
Second? All those in favor? Okay. Personnel, Dr. Patak.
Thank you, Mrs. Claus. Before you have a number of items, including a resignation, requests for leaves of absence, including the addendum, request for reinstatement to active employment, appointments of 2 regular substitute teachers replacing individuals who will be on leave next year, test scoring training, presentation compensation. You have 1 tenure appointment this year. It's in the teaching area. 1 salary adjustment and modification to the substitute teacher list. All additions tonight.
Any questions? Okay, I need a motion for P1 through P8.
So moved.
Second? All those in favor? Okay. Non-instructional?
Non-instructional, you have the notification of the death of 2 employees, resignations, including 2 individuals for the purposes of retirement, totaling a total of 40 years of service to the district, requests for leaves of absence, requests for reinstatement to active employment, change in status, appointments, summer employees, as well as modifications to the substitute list.
Okay, again, any concerns or questions? And a motion to approve P9 through P15.
Motion.
Second? Those in favor? Okay. Special needs and student activities.
This is probably the busiest month of the year for special education, as you can tell through your packet. There were 231 meetings last month for the Committee on Special Ed and 81 for the Committee on Preschool Special Ed. So that's a whole bunch of kids with making sure that their needs are met. Nothing strange or unusual in those reports.
And the 2 addendums at your place, if you didn't have a chance to see them yet. Okay. Any questions? Then a motion to accept
Motion.
for both? Motion? Second?
Second.
Those in favor? Okay. Okay, Dr. Hicks?
First, under board development, we have 2 overnight field trips that we're requesting the board to approve. The first is for our mock trial team, who we just recognized. They're going to the state championships. It's in Albany from May 15th through the 17th. The second is for our Academy of Business and Finance. We have 3 students who are being recognized nationally for their contributions to the program, including Mr. Lottie's daughter. He should be extremely proud of her work. And those students would go with Heather Hartman to New York City later on in the month. So those first 2 are field trip requests.
Okay, we'll do those first before the policy. Motion to accept, approve?
Motion.
Second? Those in favor? Okay.
Second, we're going to request that the Board of Ed waive the 30-day period for letting this policy sit on the table prior to voting. This is a change in our administration of medication policy that allows our high school and middle school nurses to administer Narcan in the case of an opioid overdose. We don't anticipate that, but we have the kits. Our nurses have been trained in the utilization of the kits, and we think this is a safety first proper policy. The board must put into policy that the nurses can administer Narcan in order for it to come to fruition. So we're asking that the board consider that and waive the 30-day policy so that we can put this in immediately.
Have the district physicians been consulted on this?
Yeah, Rick, can you talk about that, please?
Yes, our district physician, Dr. Fran Simone, wrote a standing order to allow it.
Okay, then we need a motion to approve the policy 7513, the administration of medication.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. We turn to the second public comment session. Again, request that you come to the microphones, give your name and address. Okay. Before you are the upcoming schedule of meetings and events, which there are a lot. And this information is available with the minutes, so you could, as a whole, the community can also attend some of these events, the spring concerts. This is that time of the year for all of the grades, as well as the graduation, which is here already at the end of next month. Okay, I need a motion to move to executive session to discuss matters leading to the employment history of a particular person considered for tenure or continuation.
Ms. Claus, can I add one more thing, please?
Sure.
For next Tuesday's budget vote, we're going to make sure that the students park over in the church where we have our normal relationship. We're going to have people directing traffic. We think that the flow should be, except for the time period right around the elementary track meet where it'll be very, very busy, we have a traffic flow. And we also have a shuttle bus, is that correct, Rick?
Yes, we have a shuttle bus from the town library that will take people back and forth if need be. There's about 90 spots reserved just for vote parking all day.
Okay.
And to encourage people to come from earlier in the day to
Right.
early afternoon.
We encourage them to come anytime that's convenient for them, but there will be a time frame from about 4:30 till about 6:30 where it'll be very busy.
Or if you want to avoid the traffic issues.
Right.
Okay. Okay, then a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Those in favor? Okay.